So let's talk about the Salem Media stuff, because this is kind of interesting. The Salem Media is a conservative media group. They have, podcasters, they have radio people, they have like a Christian section of their group, and it's just interesting because Max Blumenthal, think about whatever you want about him. Yes, he's a leftist, but he does excellent reporting. So here, let me just go to this clip. This is from Lara Trump, and we'll see why that's relevant in a little bit, why this Lara Trump clip is relevant. So I'll just play the clip first, and then we'll discuss it after. So Lara Trump on Fox News talking about making a deal with Iran.
Because you want to talk about what the United States of America can do, take a look at this video. Take a look at all the videos he's posted of the bombs dropping, of the explosions, of us targeting something the size of basically a fingernail, our United States military. It is really impressive. It has so much more gravity to it when you see it like this. And I just think it's so impressive because, again, we have never seen something like this happen. We've never had a president like this willing to do this sort of thing. And hopefully it's all for the best, for the entire world, the best for our people, the best for the rest of the world. And just to go back to what you guys were talking about with the allies, this president has talked about how disappointed he is with the NATO allies. He also talked last night about the fact that the people who rely on the Strait of Hormuz to get their oil need to step up. Now's the time. They need it. We don't need it here in the United States of America. They're going to have to step up and do something about it. I thought his speech last night was really powerful, and I think that he sent a message then. He's sending a message now with this video as well.
Guy, and
Okay, all right. America's great. We can target bridges, and we're so excellent with how accurate we are with our weapons in Iran. Even though on the first day of this war, we sort of accidentally, actually do think it was accidentally, blew up a school and killed 160 schoolgirls that are around ages 7 to 10 years old. And nobody seems to be talking about that anymore, just how huge of an atrocity that was, either based on faulty intelligence or I'm thinking possibly even using AI to acquire their own targets. But, our military is so fantastic. We can target awesome things and blow them up like bridges, civilian infrastructure. So Max Blumenthal took that video and quote tweeted it and says, Lara Trump is broadcast on Salem Media, where she and her bro-in-law hold a key stake. Salem Media's chief strategy officer is a registered foreign agent for the Israeli government. The war of terror she celebrates is an outcome of a formal merger of Trump Inc. with Greater Israel. Huh? What are you talking about? She has a stake in the Salem Media Company, and the chief strategy officer is a registered foreign agent for Israel? That seems weird. What do you mean? Let's listen to Max Blumenthal expand on this further.
Salem Media is an Israeli foreign agent. It is listed in a Foreign Agent Registration Act form with the Department of Justice as the delivery mechanism for a major contract between Israel's foreign ministry and Clock Tower Strategies through a German firm called Havas to propagandize the American public. We're talking about $10 million of direct payments to podcasters and influencers, as well as hundreds of millions of dollars.
So you guys remember the influencers on X that were allegedly getting paid $7,000 per post? Could this have anything to do with it? Guys like Cam Higbee, probably Misfit Patriot, Officer Tatum, like guys like this.
To cover the deliverables. And the Salem Media Group chief strategy officer is a federally registered Israeli foreign agent named Brad Parscale, who heads Clock Tower Strategies. Lara Trump, who is Trump's daughter-in-law, and Donald Trump Jr., who is Donald Trump's daughter, now own a 30% stake in Salem Media. So they have effectively merged through this foreign agent business deal with the Israeli foreign ministry. The Trump family has merged with the Israeli foreign ministry.
Okay, so like really think about how insane the implications of this are. The Trump family has ownership stake in Salem Media, and their chief strategy officer is a registered foreign agent with Israel. Are you guys grasping how insane that is? Like the conflict of interest, to say the least. I mean, the T word could be thrown around regarding this. This is insane, you guys.
You have an Israeli foreign ministry.
Okay, so I heard Max Blumenthal talking about this, and I was like, all right, let me just ask Brave Browser. So I prefer Brave Browser's AI over Grok. So I just decided to start asking Brave Browser some questions. So I said, who owns Salem Media? Salem Media Group is a publicly traded company with ownership distributed among shareholders. It was founded by Stuart Epperson and Edward G. Astinger III, who remain influential figures. Epperson serves as chairman and Astinger is as CEO. As of April 2025, so this month, Donald Trump Jr. and Lara Trump became stakeholders in the company through a strategic deal. Though the exact ownership percentages were not disclosed, the company trades over the counter under the ticker SALM, having been delisted from NASDAQ in December of 2023 due to non-compliance with exchange requirements. So that's an interesting tidbit right there by itself. So I asked, what affiliation do they have with Israel? Salem Media Group is a strong pro-Israel affiliation rooted in its Christian conservative audience and amplified through direct partisanship and media campaigns. So this is like the evangelical Christians that are constantly talking about how these are the Christian Zionists, all the Christian Zionists that you see that are super pro-Israel. So key aspects include fundraising and broadcasting from Israel. In 2024, Salem Media host Mike Gallagher broadcast live from Israel in partnership with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, raising $342,000 for humanitarian aid after the October 7th Hamas attack. Okay. Organizational pro-Israel trips. Salem has led listener trips to Israel branded as Stand With Israel, hosted by figures like Dennis Prager and Mike Gallagher, reinforcing support among its audience. So PragerU is a whole other thing in itself. Foreign agent contracts in 2025, Salem's chief strategy officer, Brad Parscale, was retained by the Israeli government under a $6 million Foreign Agents Registration Act filed contract to integrate pro-Israel messaging across Salem's platforms, including Town Hall, Red State, and podcasts like the Dinesh D'Souza podcast, The Right Wing View with Lara Trump. Red State. There's someone I know from Red State that I like, but I disagree with her on a very specific subject. How interesting. Strategic messaging campaigns. Salem is part of Israel's broader U.S. outreach, including initiatives like Partners for Peace, aimed at shaping public opinion and countering criticism, particularly among younger conservatives. This alignment reflects both ideological support and formalized collaboration with the Israeli government interests. So it's literally Israeli propaganda. It's designed to steer public opinion to support Israel and to stop and speak out against criticism of Israel. That's what it seems like Salem Media's key role is. And Lara and Donald Trump Jr. just basically became part owners of this company. So that's insane. I asked Brave Browser to give me a list of podcasters and X accounts that are contracted with Salem Media. So very interestingly, first name that pops up, Charlie Kirk, host of the Charlie Kirk Show. Then you've got Dennis Prager, host of the Dennis Prager Show and PragerU. And like I said earlier, PragerU has its own ties to Israel, which is interesting. Hugh Hewitt, host of the Hugh Hewitt Show. I don't know who that is. Dinesh D'Souza, who's also a very pro-Israel person. Todd Starnes, Trish Regan, Lara Trump, Alex Marlowe, Scott Jennings, who's on CNN all the time, talking very pro-Israel stuff on CNN. Doug Collins, Jenna Ellis, Sebastian Gorka, very pro-Israel. Mike Gallagher. This is not Mike Gallagher, the guy that introduced the TikTok bill. This is a different guy, the guy that went to work for Palantir after he left Congress, after he got the TikTok bill introduced. That was a whole other thing, which also had to do with Israel, ironically. And then last but not least, Larry Elder, guy that ran for governor of California during Gavin Newsom's recall. Interesting. Very freaking interesting. Okay, let's keep going on. Let's keep going here. So I asked some follow-up questions about PragerU. I said, what affiliation does Israel have with Dennis Prager? Dennis Prager is a staunch pro-Israel advocate and founder of PragerU, a conservative nonprofit that promotes pro-Israel education content. He identifies as a deeply religious Jew and views support for Israel as integral to Judaism, arguing anti-Zionism is inherently anti-Semitic because it uniquely targets the existence of the Jewish state. Prager's affiliation with Israel is both ideological and historical. He was the national spokesperson for the student struggle for Soviet Jewry, advocating for Jews denied immigration to Israel. In 1969, he was recruited by the Israeli government to smuggle religious items into the Soviet Union and collect names of oppressed Jews. He constantly defends Israel in his media, claiming that abandoning Israel would mean the end of America due to his shared Judeo-Christian values. PragerU produces pro-Israel videos aimed at countering what he sees as anti-Israel bias in academia. I asked if he ever worked for Israel intelligence. He said no, but it did work for the Israeli government in the Soviet Union, doing his smuggling of material, which that was against the Soviet Union, so I could actually give a shit about that. But then it says, while Prager himself was not a part of Israeli's intelligence services, PragerU's CEO, Marissa Street, served in Unit 8200, Israel's military intelligence cyber division. So they're the intelligence agency of the IDF. So like the three intelligence agencies that you have for Israel are obviously Mossad, which everybody knows. Then you've got Shin Bet, which is basically like Israel's FBI. And then you have Unit 8200, which is the intelligence agency of the IDF. So Marissa Straight, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, is the CEO of PragerU, a position she's held since 2011, and plays a central role in shaping its conservative educational content. Born on August 28, 1981 in Los Angeles, she is an American and she has American and Israeli citizenship. She moved to Israel at age 7 after her parents divorced and completed her primary education there. As an adult, she served in Unit 8200, the military intelligence division of the IDF, gaining experience in strategic analysis and national security. After her military service, Straight returned to the U.S. and earned a bachelor's degree in business and economics from UCLA, followed by a master's in education and nonprofit management in the American Jewish University. Before joining PragerU in 2009, she worked as the 4th and 5th grade teacher, later becoming a school headmistress and serving as director of operations for the Israeli American Council. As CEO, she has transformed PragerU into a major media nonprofit with over 1 billion annual videos, promoting conservative and pro-Israel perspectives through short form and edutainment content. She also hosts the PragerU podcast Real Talk with Marissa. Straight is married to Noah Straight, a mortgage lending executive, and they have 3 children. She lives in Los Angeles, is known for advocating parental rights in education and opposing what she views as leftist bias in schools. So, Californian. So she is not associated with Salem Media, but Dennis Prager being affiliated with Salem Media just makes you look at the whole Salem Media Israeli ties and then the PragerU Israeli ties and the whole, Con Inc. Evangelical Christian Zionist network that's out there. It's like this whole thing.